Seattle Seahawks win again and right back to where you thought they would be after a week one, just ugly start. Last two games really look good and they're right back there. So if you're new to our channel, we make videos for teams that don't get the love nationally like they should. Seattle Seahawks being one of those teams. We believe that they are one of the best teams in the NFC. Nobody's really talking about them. I get it that week one loss kind of messed people up, but they're right back in it. We're Detroit Lions fans, so we definitely know that this is a good team and they're playing the right way. They're doing things really well and efficiently offensively, like crazy stuff. So they have a winning formula that I really love. And I got to see it firsthand against the Detroit Lions, where they played opposite of the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions are kind of on the forefront of the aggressive stuff, always trying to be aggressive, go for it. And Pete Carroll said after that game, I knew that the Detroit Lions would be overly aggressive and that it would eventually cost them or something like that. I don't know what he said, but he said he knew he'd be overly aggressive and that the Seattle Seahawks weren't going to do that. They did the same thing in week 3 when they settled for field goals instead of going for it. So Seattle failed to score a touchdown in the first half, instead settled for 5 field goals on its first 8 possessions. Now I get it. You're trying to score touchdowns. You don't want field goals, but the point is they stayed patient. You're patient. You play the game the right way. There's a reason you take points instead of go for it. They played patient in the right way. And I'll get to one other thing that's really cool about this winning formula. And then in the second half, they were able to score touchdowns on 3 of their final 4 drives to really blow it open and do, what you expected. And the score looks like, okay, cool, we're all good. But they constantly are staying ahead of you, putting pressure on you. And that's what the Lions experienced in week 2. They never went anywhere. They were right there. Then boom, they get a pick 6 and now they're up by 10 and you can't, they just stay patient. When it feels like the trend in the NFL is to go for it, trick plays, a little bit more of that. Seattle does the opposite. We're going to play smart. And what are we going to do? We're going to let Geno Smith do his thing. And then more importantly, Kenneth Walker is a star. And we're just going to keep giving him the ball. And eventually he's going to pop. So here's Walker. 97 yards, 2 touchdowns. Seattle went to him early and often since the Panthers defense failed to conjure up any answer to stop him. So what Seattle's doing is old school, smart, patient football with running the ball and then hard play action and an athletic Geno Smith that can roll out, get out of trouble, knows where to go. That's what the Lions saw in week 2. And it just was like, killer. You couldn't even watch as a Detroit Lions fan because play action, give it to him, play action, hits a guy, and you're just playing smart, patient football. And how many times against the Lions and against the Panthers where throw a little 3-yard out into the flat, Kenneth Walker takes it for 8 yards. Now it's 2nd and 2. I mean, they just are so efficient offensively. So Walker caught 3 passes for 60 yards, bringing his total to 156 yards from scrimmage. Walker continues to establish dominant presence in the Seattle offense, or the Seahawks offense. Seattle should be a team to watch in the NFC all year long. That's what we've been saying all offseason with this team. So this winning formula that they have is so basic. It's so good. We're going to be smart. We're going to punt when we should punt. We should kick field goals when we should kick field goals. We're going to run the ball constantly. And the winning formula that I love is they know when to sprinkle in the play action. And they'll play action you to death. Even when you know really they're not going to run it, they still run play action and you still kind of come up. And they've got 3 tight ends and they've got Kenneth Walker. And then Charbonnet comes in and he's a battering ram. And Geno's just athletic enough, but yet he can stand in there and complete a 3 and 8 or 3rd and 8 pass, like on the money too. He's not just a rollout dink it guy either. He can just when you don't think he can, so you're constantly unsure of what the Seattle Seahawks are doing, and they're always going to be in every single game. That week 1 was weird. I think that's gone. They are just a team that's going to constantly be in every game, and even, they're not going to win every single game from here on out. But when you are in every game, you give yourself a chance. And the Seattle Seahawks are like, we're just going to give ourselves a chance at the end of the game. And throughout an entire game, our formula of running the ball, staying patient, and just playing the game correctly will prove out. And so the Lions did that this week. Punted when they should have punted, went for it, didn't go for it. And it's just like, play the long game when you have to. And, look, Seattle might go for it at times or do some things. But in general, I think if you've got the talent, you've got the quarterback, you've got the coaching, play the long game. It will play out in your favor. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hope that we don't see Seattle ever again this season, because it's a terrible matchup for the Detroit Lions. But this is a good team. We've been saying it all off season. Like, why are they not getting talked about, right? The Lions are getting talked about. I don't think that's just a homer thing. I think that's they're a good team. I think they're a good team, up and coming, and they're favored in the division. Cowboys are getting talked about. Giants got talked about a bunch. These big names. And no, it's the Seahawks. It's the 49ers. It's the Lions. It's the Eagles. Those are the teams that we're going to see in the NFC. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next